know what's going on. 3 years later, maybe. All right, let's take a look at what Greg Popovich had to say about this loss. He needs to answer for his sins. Like I said before, I think that starting lineup was more so due to the fact that they can space the floor. Not only that, they will push the pace. On paper, they will be the best possible three-point shooters you can have on the court that can also push the pace. So, yeah, unfortunately, Jeremy Sohan, he's not that. And this could have been a good way of exploiting the Timberwolves defense. But also, I mean, let's be real, they did get pretty close. Sorry, I was looking for closed captions, but I don't have it. All right, let's listen. What is he eating?
I think they did well.
Is Pop eating Werthers? They're called Werthers, right? That's what old people eat. Is he eating Werthers? He better not be. He's not old enough to eat Werthers.
That's the best team in the West, and we gave them a good run. If you shoot 8 for 37 from 3, you're going to have a tough night, and a whole lot of things better be perfect after that. Can't make many mistakes. And, we're making mistakes, but I thought their competitiveness was great. Execution was getting better all the time. But there's still too many mistakes, not enough habits.
Good point.
And we just keep working at that. That's going to be the measure of who we are, how we work through this, and continue to try to alleviate mistakes. Because if we're not making shots, as I said, we better be doing a lot of other good things.
That's a really good point too. I don't know why I didn't think about that when we were going over everything. Yeah, like back to this game, that does make a lot of sense. Because these 3-point shots, I mean, yeah, I kind of harped on Zach Collins because it's been a continuous theme at this point where he's missing a ton of 3-point shots. He's down 10% from last season. But yeah, the Spurs aren't necessarily doing the fundamentals that would keep you in the game. Because even if you think back with the Spurs when we were like phenomenal, okay, when we were winning championships and all that good stuff, even if we have a bad shooting night, we still could win the game because we're doing all the right things defensively. But this team is just not necessarily that. But I will say this, all right? Okay, you guys ready? Now, I've been a Pop stan this entire time, right? And I'm going to continue to be that. But I will say this. One lineup Pop had out there, it was doomed from the start. Now, if they were more fundamentally sound, maybe they could have held their own, kind of, maybe. I don't know. But that lineup he had with Keldon, okay, let me try to make sure. Keldon, Osman, McDermott, Zach Collins, and Malachi, it was awful, dude. It was awful because on the offensive end, you had Keldon Johnson just like basically forcing shots, which he does this often. And then on the defensive end, no one could really defend. That was terrible, okay? That was a terrible lineup. Now, I will say that Pop had that lineup out there for way too long. Now Pop is a like numbers guy, okay? So he kind of looks at the numbers, and that's why we saw so many adjustments after 20 games. He usually waits till 20 games and he makes adjustments there based on statistics. But man, those statistics, analytics, they were wrong. Whatever they were telling him, they lied to his face. That was terrible. That was terrible. I mean, and that's why I was telling you guys, like, I love the lineup that has Malachi, McDermott, Osman, Mamu, and I'm always missing a fifth person, Zach Collins. I like that lineup. We haven't seen that lineup in a while, but I like them because while defensively they're not the best, offensively the ball moves consistently. Like it's really good because Zach Collins is a good passer. You got Malachi Branham, who he will pass the ball. He needs to. But he also has a fast release. You got Osman, who plays the right way. He just plays like a typical Spur. All right, he's a traditional Spur. You got Doug McDermott, who knows how to play the right way and make good backdoor cuts. I mean, it's just constant movement offensively. I like that lineup. But this one, you throw Keldon Johnson in the mix with other players that can't defend. It's like, ooh. Whew.
It's what we wanted to do. We'll see.
Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I wasn't listening. Hold on. Let me try to hear what the reporters were actually saying, because those were quick answers. Hold on. Let's go back a little bit to Pop talking now.
Alleviate mistakes, because if we're not making shots, as I said, we better be doing a lot of other good things. What was the thinking of the lineup change? It's what we wanted to do.
Oh, the reason for the lineup change, and then you see the next one.
You think you'll stick with it going forward? We'll see.
Will you keep that lineup going forward? And he said, "We'll see." He didn't. He just didn't answer. But by the way, I think we probably need to make this clear too. Like these press conferences, they give us somewhat of a glimpse. Most of the time when I'm listening to press conferences, I'm not looking for like any breakdown of like certain things that you did. No one does that. Okay, no coach does it. No player does it. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of wheels turning. All right, there's some X's and O's. He's not going to sit here and explain it to the media. Not only because you don't want to just get that out to anybody's hands, but also they're just not going to listen. So he's pretty surface level with stuff. I'm mostly looking at, like, when I watch stuff like this, I'm trying to look at, like, you know, body language, just kind of the overall vibe of what you're giving off. I know it's not something that you can like break down necessarily, but just kind of the overall thoughts that you have, even if it's surface level. Maybe we can kind of look deeper into it. I just don't. I wasn't expecting Pop to explain the starting lineup. Me personally, I think that the starting lineup, like a lot of people will instantly say, no point guards on the court. I think it was to try to exploit the Timberwolves the best to your ability, because they're such a good defensive team, and you put out a team that can hit 3-point shots in transition. And that would also make sense to why the Spurs took they took a lot of threes. All right. Took a lot of threes. They took a lot of threes and only got to the line for 15 shots. So, yeah.
Just overall, I know it's a little stretch there in the fourth, but kind of overall, what did you see?
Yeah, I thought they did really well as far as trying to guard, you know, guys like Towns and Edwards. Those are pretty tough covers. But I thought that they did an admirable job of that, and it kept us in the game. We just didn't shoot.
Who's they? God dang it. I'm trying to listen to I can't even hear the reporters.
Those are pretty trying to guard.
Just overall, I know it's a little stretch there. Liked about the defense. Just overall, I know it's a little stretch there. What did you like about the defense? Just overall, I know it's a little stretch there in the fourth, but kind of overall, what did you see?
Yeah, I thought they did really well.
Oh, he just said, what do you think about the defense? I thought he was talking about like specific players. I'm sorry.
As far as trying to guard, you know, guys like Towns and Edwards. Those are pretty tough covers. But I thought that they did an admirable job of that, and it kept us in the game. We just didn't shoot.
Devin hit some really tough shots in the third quarter. How do you think he did overall?
Devin Vassell took some really tough shots. How do you think he did overall at the end?
He did well. He did well.
What does Minnesota do to got them in this position from the defensive end?
What's what?
What is Minnesota doing that's so effective in the way they are shoving teams down in their shooting?
Well, they're strong, they're athletic, they're long, they're talented. That all goes a long way.
Thanks.
Oh, man, Lord have mercy. That is true. They got some good vets on it. I mean, you got Mike Conley, who's, I mean, he's no scrub defensively. He's pretty decent. You got Towns, Robert, Rudy Gobert. I don't know what I just said. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. And then Kyle Anderson coming off the bench. He's a great defender. So it's unfortunate. But overall, I do think that the Spurs stayed in the game. It's like a broken record at this point, but it's a good broken record. In saying that the Spurs are competing. So it's not like they aren't competing. There's literally been maybe 2 games this entire season I said they're not competing, but that's usually just not enough. You know, I know a lot of people use the whole, like, you just want it. You just need to want it enough. You just need to try harder. And in reality, no, sometimes it does just come down to the little things, the small minor details of a basketball game, and whether or not you win or lose, and those types of things, like Popovich has said, has to become a habit, you know? So it is what it is. It sucks, but it is what it is. Conley, a lifetime journeyman. Conley's a really good player, man. When he was with the Grizzlies, I was like, oh my goodness, he's so good. I would go as far as to say, you guys might not like this take. I would go as far as to say, this is why I get irritated with Spurs fans, where a lot of people got upset when we traded DeJounte, right? But I would go as far as say, like, the Grizzlies trading letting Conley go was way more significant. Like, he was the man in Memphis. He's such a terrific player. He's a good player. Conley did a great job controlling tempo. He did. That's why I really like Cadeau, man. I know people are like, oh, I don't really like Cadeau or whatever. And I'm saying, look, if we land, for some reason, we land outside of the top 6, 7 of next year's draft, like, dude, I would take Cadeau. Are you kidding me? It's really good. He controls the pace very well. I like him. Anyways, good stuff.